This episode originally aired on my solo podcast, Maximize Your Day, but it's too powerful not to bring back. Now, as part of Married to the Hustle, the show I co host with my husband and business partner, Alex, we're expanding the conversation around mindset, boundaries, and what it really takes to thrive in life and business. The value hasn't changed, but the perspective has really deepened. And honestly, some of these insights hit even harder now. So let's get right into it. Enjoy the listen. Welcome. I am so excited for this speaker that is coming up because you guys are in for a special treat. I would love to introduce you guys to Gigi Santiago. She is a dynamic public speaker, presenter, and trainer. She is a spiritual director, certified NLP and master mindfulness practitioner. Gigi's a certified elite life coach who uses an evocative approach and mindfulness techniques with her clients who are seeking a transformational experience and creating a mindset of success. And I had the honor of meeting Gigi about 3 years ago at a networking event, and life goes full circle. And here we are 3 years later, and I get to have her on my podcast. So well overdue, Gigi. Welcome to my podcast.
Thank you for having me, Jessica. This is exciting and it's fun.
Yes, and it's going to be fun. I can't wait to be able to share your story and a little bit about what you do and how you can support others, because you've had a really amazing journey. So why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about you and maybe what got you started?
Well, I am a New Yorker, born and raised, and then about over 30 years ago, we moved to the South, and now we're located in Orlando, Florida. I've been married to my college sweetheart for 38 years, and we have 5 adult children. So, of course, family is very important to me. We also have 3 grandchildren I must brag about. And my journey towards intentionality and mindfulness and awareness began about 20, a little bit over 20 years ago, when I began to study for a master's degree in theology. Now, I walked through life reacting to everything because that's how I was taught. My father was a big reactor with big outbursts. And so I figured, okay, I need to be heard. I was the youngest of 5. I'm going to be heard.
And we're New Yorkers too, right? So that's what we do.
Exactly. We talk with our hands and real loud. And so, and then I'm in this class with these pretty prayerful people. There were a couple of us that were a little bit more, shall we use the word passionate about what we believed in expressing ourselves. And there was a piece during that first semester, that first 10 weeks of class, that it was a slowing down. It was a time to reflect on how we respond to the world, not react to the world. And that for me was like, respond to the world? Well, what do they mean by that? And it's been this journey over and over and over again of being very aware of maybe how I'm going to react to a situation and looking at that reaction. Where is that coming from? Because I grew up with 4 brothers, a very dominant father, whenever I get like male energy that whether it's from a man or a woman, that's like real pushy, I know I'm going to react the defensive way that I learned to react, to be heard and to make sure that my opinion gets across. It's got to be my way. Mm-hmm. And upon that realization, I didn't like that. So I wanted to learn how to respond to life. And it's been a over 20-year journey since the late 90s to the place where now I do stop and I don't react. And I ponder that a little bit. And so that's what I like to do to help people, because if we're reacting to the world, and from my experience, then we can't enjoy the world.
I love that. And, and it's so relevant in today's world, right? With everything that we have going on. I remember clearly in the midst of the pandemic, and when there was talk about quarantine, we were like, what is that? Right. We felt like our freedom was taken away from us. And how we reacted to it. There was a process, right? There was like a grieving process. You were sad and then angry and then victimized and then maybe sad again. So talk to me about that. What have you seen perhaps during the pandemic that has made your role so much more critical in the lives of people in general? But that our audience is female entrepreneurs mainly, and career women. So knowing that, what would you say it has really pushed hiring and working with someone like you to be so successful?
Because of the pandemic, we're more aware of anxiety and stress, and especially for women, because they, let's face it, women are the ones who have to do the caregiving of everyone. It's something that society places on them. It's something their cultures place on them. And it's something we're taught to place on ourselves. So with that idea, with, what was going on with the pandemic, and the instability of education, the instability of work, the instability of relationships, right? Because, couples and families were together 24/7. Mm-hmm. And if you added another family component that created even more stress upon the women of that family. Mm-hmm. And even if it was a woman who was alone, a woman who had been single and pretty much created a life for herself, there still were all these other mitigating factors, whether it was a parent, whether it was an aunt, an uncle, some type of relative, many of the women that I sit with and speak with, that they were caregiving for or anxious about or any of that, because of the simple fact that they felt they should be doing more. And then guilt sets in. And if they didn't do enough, then the shame sets in. And that's where the anxiety increases. Before the pandemic, GAD, general anxiety disorder, affected about 3 million people worldwide.
Wow.
COVID, we saw that stress and anxiety had risen. Prior to 2020, in 2019, the World Health Organization did a study and found that there was an anxiety world crisis going on. And in the United States, 40 million people are affected by GAD, general anxiety disorder. And that's almost 20% of the population.
Wow.
And that's 2019, when we were just living our lives. Mm-hmm. Add the pandemic to it, and then all of these other stressors, these other factors, these other pieces that people don't have the skills. And that I always find very interesting. That's something maybe we can talk about a little bit later, but it's the skills that we need to be in relationship with other people. Mm-hmm. And that's not something that's taught. It's something we observe. Mm-hmm. If you don't have healthy role models, then we bring that with us.
I love that. I love that. And I would say also, and I don't know the stats as well as you do, but would you say that this has impacted more women than men, or more teens, or, what is your experience?
Well, if mom isn't happy, no one's happy, right? Mm-hmm. So yep. If it impacts the woman, the leader of the household, then it's going to impact everyone else. Mm-hmm. Women cannot compartmentalize how we are feeling. Because let's say as an entrepreneur, I have a meeting at 5 o'clock this afternoon. I've got to do a presentation because this will be a great client for me.
Mm-hmm.
I got to pick the kids up at 3. I've got to make sure dinner's on the table and that somebody's going to stay with them. It's not like you can get up and go, hey, I got a meeting, bye.
Mm-hmm.
Not for women, And so for us, everything is connected. And if we can't give fully our focus on, let's say, a task that we're doing because we're being interrupted, then those feelings of not feeling successful, those feelings of fear, those feelings of I'm not enough
Mm-hmm.
get exasperated. Then that's where stress comes in. And we know that stress can exacerbate illness or create illness.
Mm-hmm.
Has a physical illness, not even the mental strain that it puts on us. So when you think about it, it's been a very stressful 2 years for many women, that the great resignation back in August of 2021,
Mm-hmm.
majority of those were women that could not go back to work because the education piece was not stable for their children.
Mm-hmm.
In December of 2020, there was about, I want to say 200,000 people in the United States lost their jobs or did not go back. 164,000 of those were women.
Wow.
Because of the uncertainty.
Wow.
And then you look at the work situation now, where those women that were able to work remotely figured it out, got it handled, were able to do everything they were required to do and live a good life. Now we're being asked to disrupt that because now you have to come back
Mm-hmm.
to the office.
Mm-hmm. And
when they were very capable of doing the work that they did from home.
Yep. That's so funny because even during the pandemic, a lot of employers, a lot of large companies, they kind of hit themselves on the chest and said, we are pro-family, right? We support your families, but there's a lot of people who have felt that, everyone else's family was important except mine. Right. So what do you say to those women who have taken the stand to say, you know what, family comes first. I can always find the job that can match my skills and my needs and allow me to put my family first. What do we say to those women?
Well, there's work out there. There really is work out there. Need to also, if you're looking for work, a job, look for those companies that are family friendly, that you can work remotely from. Look into things that you enjoy to do. I sit with my clients, and a lot of times they're in roles that, the dream is to be their own business owner, or they're starting out entrepreneurs. It's a side gig that they want to make full time. And I play with them. I allow them to play, have some fun with this. If you could dream big, money was not an option. If you can picture yourself in 5 years time from now. And sometimes people are like, 5 years, all right, 3 years time, right? Where do you see yourself at?
Mm-hmm.
And if you see yourself not here in this role that you're doing, then it's time to look at something else. Your side hustle, is it fun?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it something else you got to do to make sure that there's food on the table?
Mm-hmm.
So find something that I encourage my clients to find something that's fun. And then let's look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Is it reasonable? And I love working in seasons. So I start out 3 months at a time with them, and then we'll go into longer um, coaching sessions just to make sure that they're committed to their dream,
Right.
not just interested in that ideal. That would be so cool if that happened. I'm going to play lotto tonight.
Yeah.
Okay, good luck. That's hard work. I mean, but you should have fun with it, just like a relationship. It is a relationship. It's just like,
Yeah.
marriage or relationship with another person. Yeah, it's work. You got to communicate. You got to be open. You got to be truthful.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to work at it. But have fun. Because you
Mm-hmm.
ain't having fun, you're not going to enjoy it, and it's going to become another chore. And women tend to not do that because they're so busy. Many of the women I come across surviving.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And it goes back to the statistics you were sharing about anxiety. I think a lot of times we as women hold ourselves back because of the unknown. We're so used to being in control that we just don't know how to release that control. I can tell you, relinquishing control is tough. Especially when you're running a business, or when you're, a person in leadership, or when you're raising a family. Five, oh my gosh, I don't know how you do it, because I had two, and that was a whole lot for me. so I completely agree with you. And that leads to all of these other factors. And, shifting the conversation a little bit on self-care, I know that is one of your hot topics, right? And the importance of really taking care of yourself. A lot of people don't realize that, even when you're on an airplane, the first thing they tell you is, before you help someone else put the oxygen mask on, you've got to put yours on first, right? So walk me through how self-care can decrease anxiety.
Oh my goodness, there's so many ways. Um, Self-care in my book is not a reward; it's a requirement.
Mm.
It's a daily practice that needs to occur. And I'm not one that should people, but this is a
Mm-hmm.
topic I should you on.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's so important. With self-care, uh, it is not only physical. A lot of people think, oh, yeah, I'm going to eat better, I'm going to do this. That's part of it. But it also helps your cognitive function. I come from a family that Alzheimer's is in my blood. And it's a concern of mine because I'm aware of the toll it takes on a family. We took care of my aunt for 2 years, and it was the final stages of Alzheimer's. And, I don't know how her frail little body could stay up for 72 hours because she was in that loop. And so, knowing how that affects the rest of the family, I'm very aware of what I'm eating. Is this going to be good for my cognitive function, but is it going to help decrease or slow down cognitive decline? It's good for physical also. People that work out or people that keep moving, live longer. It helps not only brain function, but it also gives you confidence, because when you're taking care of yourself, you're teaching other people how to take care of you too. Setting those healthy boundaries
Yep.
that a lot of times women don't practice. They know it. We know all this stuff, but are you practicing it?
Mm-hmm.
You can do it by yourself, or you can allow me to help you. And that's part of my intentional success program
Mm-hmm.
is to add that self-care piece that becomes part of your daily routine. And self-care isn't just working out in the mornings, or self-care is definitely not getting a mani-pedi. And let's face it, ladies, right? Getting a mani-pedi and they're too slow in the salon, and you're thinking, oh my goodness, I've got to pick up the kids in half an hour. Is that a relaxing experience? I know for me it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
It drove me nuts. It's like, guys, I got to be out of here by 3. You don't understand. I got to pick up children. Yeah, no problem, no problem. 3:15 and my head spinning because it's like, I gotta get out of here. So
I'm
again,
laughing not because I've been there or anything. It happens all the time.
does, right? And again, then we feel guilty. Oh my goodness, my kid's going to have to, wait an extra 10 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
at school or wherever it is. So again, it's that piece of how do we take care of ourselves without guilt?
Mm-hmm.
Even getting up and going for a walk, oh, I've got to take the dog with me. Oh, now my spouse wants to come walk with me. Yay. I just wanted some alone time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now it's a parade. So setting those boundaries for yourself and without guilt, without shame, without apology. I'm sorry. It drives me crazy when we go, I'm sorry, I'm going to do this for myself. Why are you apologizing?
Yeah.
Just do
Yeah.
it. I need this time for me. I gotta get my head clear so that I can plan my day, or I can just have alone time.
Mm-hmm.
Walking for me, when I do it, and I can't say I've been consistent with it, but when I do it, it helps me to clear out the cobwebs from the night before, because I usually walk in the morning, and then I can just do some breathing exercises as I'm walking, send up a little prayer,
Mm-hmm.
of Thanksgiving. For me, it's always I begin with Thanksgiving because I have to sit down when I'm gonna ask for stuff. And then I can come back, and there is this woman who's calm, who's centered,
Mm.
who is ready to embrace the day, because I'm not going to conquer it. I'm going to embrace it, because as we know, for those of us that like control, and I'm raising my hand here, we have to embrace the day so that we don't get thrown off when it doesn't go our way.
I love that. I love that. I love what you said about boundaries. And one of the things that I've spoken to my audience about in the past is being unapologetic about your worth, your value, the value of your time. So I'm all for setting healthy boundaries and being unapologetic about it. So I love what you said there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when it comes to you said something about being centered.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a really critical piece in a coach and coachee relationship, is really, taking some time to, I don't know if you've had the experience where you have a client come in and you can tell they're frazzled. They probably didn't plan well for their session. What type of exercises do you, or maybe a quick one that you can share with the audience of something that you do with your clients that helps them, that can be easily implemented by anyone that's listening?
Mm-hmm. I love doing the first minute once they sit down, and I get them a little bit calm when they're coming in frazzled. And actually, clients that I've had for a while, um, they already know.
Mm-hmm.
So I have them do a minute of counted breaths.
Mm-hmm.
And so they count in 6, they pause, and then they release the breath slowly to the count of 8. And the reason why, and this has changed as I learn more, letting out the breath longer allows any actual toxins that are in your system out.
Mm.
And so if you do counted breaths, and depending upon how that person is, so we start out with a minute. I'll check in with them. Are you good? Or are you still feeling tension? And then we'll go for another 2 minutes. So between a minute to 3 minutes of counted breaths changes the whole being of the person, because you
Mm-hmm.
see the shoulders get relaxed. There's not that fidgeting. Their minds are clear in terms of they're ready to focus.
Mm-hmm.
And I use that for myself when I've been answering the phone, answering emails, and I need to focus. And I know, and I learned this from you, time blocking and batching and all that. And so being able to, okay, this is a task I need to be focused and centered on for the next 90 minutes. And I'll do about, I would say about 3 minutes, because that helps me to just let go of it all.
Yeah.
When I pray with some of my clients, when we're breathing in, I'm saying you're breathing in the love of God. Imagine that. And then when you're breathing out all that anxiety, that stress, anything else that's worrying you. And we go through that again. And the last breath that we do before we work together is we're breathing out the love of God to the rest of the world, because that's what we're doing.
I love that. I love that. And it's so important to understand the depth of that love, right? As someone who's also faith-centered. And of course, I'm certainly not where I want to be, but I'm closer than I've ever been. And understanding the love that God has for me, and the patience for when I stumble, we need to have that same type of self-love for ourselves, because we're so hard on ourselves. I love this conversation, Gigi. This is awesome.
And if I may, say you're not where you want to be, but you're where you're supposed to be.
So good. So good. I completely agree. I'm supposed to be with you right here, right now. So I love that. Thank you. So Gigi, our podcast is all about maximizing your day, right? So I cannot end our podcast without asking this very, very simple but important question. What does maximizing your day mean to you?
Well, maximizing my day, and I work with this with my clients, is establishing healthy habits, part of your self-care, part of their intentional success, right? In that you plan for the day. If you know you're going to be waking up, let's say 5 o'clock in the morning to go for a walk or to go to work out, you have your clothes set out for that, so that there's no distractions. If you need caffeine in the morning, like I do, I will admit it, then you have, if you can, you have the coffee set up that either you push the button or it automatically is ready by the time you put on your shoes or walk out for a cup of coffee. Then the morning ritual. So if that's part of your morning ritual, exercising, then when you come back, it's taking some quiet time to meditate. And meditating is not prayer. A lot of people confuse that. Meditation is basically just centering yourself, and whatever you call your higher source, if it's God, if it's the universe, whatever it is, and being one in the presence of that God. And not asking for anything, not glorifying at this point, just being. And that can be about, start out with 3 minutes. It's hard because the laundry list comes up, but start out with 3 minutes. And meditation and counted breaths go hand in hand. That's how, for me, I get into the presence of my God, is with counted breaths. Just being able to slow down and really just sit there. 3 minutes, 20 minutes, however long you need. And then the supplication, then the prayer can come in with and for me, it's thanksgiving, or it's praise, thanksgiving, supplication, and then more praise and thanksgiving. And then reflection, how do I want to see the face of God today? How do I want to be the face of God today? And then, of course, for me, letting it go, the control freak I am, and let me be open to however you want me to be your face today. And then that helps to center it. So having a morning ritual, whether you're religious, spiritual, or not, having a morning ritual in which you plan your day, you're able to get focused and centered on what you're going to do. will maximize your day, because then you're not running from task to task to task and feeling like the hamster that's on the wheel that doesn't go anywhere.
Right.
And then beating yourself up because you didn't do the 10,000 things you had on your list. We plan for one day the things that we should plan for the full year.
Yeah. And then we're hard on ourselves when we don't accomplish them, right?
Exactly. And then we kind of give up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, I wasn't successful. No, you were very successful. You got 25 things off of a list of 100.
Mm-hmm.
No one else could do that.
Yeah.
So, and maximizing your day, celebrate it. You know, something goes really right, it's okay to do a happy dance.
Yeah. Celebrate your wins.
Celebrate and bring joy to your life, because, you know, we have to have fun.
Love that.
We have to have fun.
Love that. So good. So Gigi, tell us, where can we find you? Where can the audience find you? And you guys, just so you know, I'll be dropping the links down on the show notes, so you'll be able to access her information and get direct connect with her on social platforms. But tell us more. What do you have coming up, and where can they find you?
I have a website. It is https://optimalmindsetllc.com, and I know Jessica will have that in her notes. I do have this month coming up for the week of the 18th, a 7-day self-care challenge, and we'll be hosting it on Zoom. We have a private Facebook group where we encourage each other, and all the materials and, of course, the replays will be on that site, on that Facebook group. And I'm excited because it always reminds me of what I could do more for self-care, and just the community that has grown from those challenges. It's been really supportive. They're pretty awesome women. And there's a couple of guys in there, but they don't talk much. So I welcome you to join us. My Facebook group is also, you can find it on the website, and connect, DM. I do a complimentary 30-minute discovery call. If you would like a strategy call, that's about an hour, and there is a fee for that, just because it's sometimes a one and done. Mm-hmm. If you choose, because of that, if revelation comes out that there is more to be done, then that fee for the strategy session would be taken off of your package. So
awesome.
Know that there are ways for you to create the intentional success and create that optimal mindset that you are desiring and deserve.
Love that. So it's a win-win. It's a win-win. Well, Gigi, thank you so much for being a part of the show, for saying yes, to be able to build this community, because, you know, that they say it takes a village to raise a child. Well, it takes a whole community to build fellowship and sisterhood. And you know that 2022 for me is all about collaboration and community. And I am so thankful to have been able to feature you today. And I'm sure that we'll continue to work together in the future.
Definitely. Thank you for having me, and thank you for starting this for women in the community and beyond.
Awesome. Thank you.
3, 2, 1, yeah!
That wraps up another episode of Married to the Hustle. We hope you enjoyed today's show and found some inspiration and practical tips to apply to your own business journey.
We love hearing from you, our amazing listeners. If you have any stories, questions, or tips to share, connect with us on social media or send us an email. Your input makes this podcast even better.
And don't forget to subscribe to Married to the Hustle on your favorite podcast platform so you never miss an episode. And if you enjoyed today's episode, please leave us a review. It really helps us grow and reach more entrepreneurial couples like you.
Join us next week for more exciting stories, insightful interviews, and valuable advice. Until then, keep hustling, keep thriving, and keep loving what you do.
Thanks for tuning in, and happy hustling.
wanna hear